So I've been playing D&D and other RPGs since I was a wee little toddler. Both my parents were great DMs, and I'd always loved playing in their games growing up. Even after slogging through high school, however, I had not yet run my own game despite having all the knowledge on how to. Being inspired by a 6.5-year-long 4E game that I was in and is currently about to end, and a matter of circumstances, I decided to run a D&D game for 3 people. The game was on Discord with a dice roller bot, nothing fancy. After helping my players create their characters, we ended up with this cast. Josh, the Paladin. Josh is a tiefling paladin who was originally trying to become a bard when his nemesis got him kicked out of the college and stole all his possessions. He looked like most humans besides the icy white hair and cool skin. Think Geralt of The Witcher, except he's broken AF and runs around with a battered shield, sword, and his gauntlets and boots for armor. Kraus. Just Kraus. A little garden gnome, druid. That is half the size of a regular gnome. Kraus lives in the forest called Southwood when the expansion of the lightning rail network threatened to harm the ecosystem. Kraus is old, grumpy, and doesn't like people intruding on his lawn. However, the entirety of civilization has a bigger shotgun than him, so he had to opt into trying to negotiate a path around Southwood instead. To be fair, he probably got this idea from a local village because he has an intelligence of 6 and the player plays it so damn well. Vila, a half-orc rogue with a longsword. She had ties to the east and were trying to send her to spy on the Sword Coast to keep tabs on the rapid expansion of the Ebrorian technology. I really wanted to see this character play out. Unfortunately, halfway through this session, the person playing Vila decided D&D wasn't for her and opted out. Sad, but if it isn't for you, it isn't. That's what Session 0 is for anyways, and even though this was technically Session 1, it served the same purpose. My setting was 50 years after the 6.5-year game. Eberl and Toril, magic, steampunk, and medieval fantasy, through the previous party shenanigans, had been able to engross in trade through Waterdeep, resulting in an expanding lightning rail, or train, network, as well as airships being far more common. There were a lot of things to plan for, but I'll leave that for another story. Right now, I was focused on Session 1, and my plan was simple. 1. Party boards train heading to Waterdeep. 2. Let them have some time to roleplay and get to know each other. 3. Let loose with a bandit raid on the train. 4. Have them fight to the engine room where a low-level mage boss is waiting. 5. Have the mage derail the train by pulling out its power source. 6. Party lives. Mage is found to be part of a cult of dragons. Trek through jungle to Daggerford. 7. End. Pure, simple, easy to contain. Nice intro for me as a DM and them as players. Or so I thought. The session started just as I'd hoped. Everyone boarded the train, and unprompted, Josh got to work getting the other 2 party members at one table. Being an ex-bard, he flirted with everything that moved, only to be harshly turned down at every corner, especially by the half-orc rogue. Before joining the rest, Kraus decided to assert his dominance on the train inhabitants by spending all of his starting gold on an expensive bottle of wine, sitting down in the middle of a bunch of merchants and nobles and chugging the thing. Kraus was too dumb to recognize the look of disgust he was getting and genuinely enjoyed the drink before heading over to the party. The three talked for a bit before an orc bandit bashed their train's car door open and walked in with a hostage, demanding everyone fork over their valuables. The first combat begins. Josh goes first, trying to bash the orc's face with his shield. Thing is, bashing isn't very effective without a specific feat, and Josh failed his strength check, so he rubbed his shield uncomfortably against the orc's face. While Vela was pulling out her crossbow like a sensible person, Kraus goes before her and takes the exact opposite approach. Kraus rolls persuasion and tries to make the orc back off. Nat 20. Kraus was new to D&D, so I took this as kind of a half persuade, half intimidate check, and the orc backed off, proclaiming that the party was trouble, and that he would execute the hostage if they pursued him. Evila shot him in the arm, and Josh stabbed him in the neck. Poor orc never stood a chance. When the orc collapsed, two more bandits came through the door and Kraus was up. Kraus decided he needed to stop the train. Kraus: "Hey DM, can I use Entangle to stop the train?" Me: "No, wait." I knew how lightning rails worked, and the truth was that Kraus couldn't stop it this way, but in the way that he was expecting. The train hovered on the track, which used magical conductor stones to keep it in the air. If Kraus could block that connection between the train and the rail with enough vines? Me: "Okay, roll for it, but the target number will be astronomically hard." Kraus rolls a nat 20 again. Me: "Okay." Some poor old woman's potted plant spilled out into the middle of the floor, and through an extreme magical surge, the lone daisy became a withering mass of vines that quickly broke through the windows and wrapped around the entire train car, effectively severing the connection between the car and the rails. The train then hit a turn, causing the now loose train to screw off over the edge, dragging the rest of the train down into the jungle. Tons of people died, and instead of it being because of the cult of dragons like I had planned it, it was because of some grumpy idiot garden gnome. Luckily for Kraus, everyone still believed the bandits had done it, but to this day, Kraus still has the highest kill count in the party just because of that. Now I want to make this clear. I had planned to derail the train anyways, which is why I could recover so well. However, Kraus beat me to the punch, effectively derailing my derailment. Kraus keeps this chaotic energy, and has since done many other things worthy of their own little stories. I love that gnome. Tildir. Garden gnome yeets a train off the rails before I could, derailing my planned derailment and literally derailing my first ever game where I was DM and killing a ton of innocent people in the process.